Welcome to the workshop, Reframing the Stories That We Tell Ourselves. I'm so glad you made it here, even though I'm not here with you live. I'm definitely rooting for you, and I'm super excited for you to embark upon this journey with me. So, what is this workshop about? This workshop is about transforming our inner narratives. Why are we using therapeutic art and movements? This is because I know that therapeutic art and movement is such a powerful tool to create change. If we talk and talk and talk about our issues, or we think and think and think about our issues, we stay in our thinking brain. However, if we use a medium such as movement, art, something that taps into our creativity, we will reach our subconscious brain. And this is incredibly powerful because this is where all your subconscious behaviors and patterns are buried and hiding in the shadows. And we are gonna tap into that part of ourselves today. And this is where we can create active change. So, of course, this is not going to happen in 1 hour. It's a continuous practice. But if you are here today, that means that you are giving yourself an opportunity to see yourself and your thoughts from a different perspective, to maybe walk a different pathway, or at least try. And that is so amazing. So I thank you so much for being here. I am very, very grateful and just super excited for you to start this journey. My name is Henrietta. I am a registered dance movement therapist, and I am the founder of Artsy Healing. If you're here, maybe you already know about Artsy Healing, but if you don't, Artsy Healing is an online service that provides therapeutic experiences through art and movement. I created this platform because I wanted therapeutic art and movement to be accessible to people from anywhere. Maybe it's not near you. Maybe you have to pay a lot of money for it. And one of my goals is to not gatekeep any of these healing resources, but also provide experiences for people that they can really use without having to go to therapy. That said, this isn't therapy, of course. This is a therapeutic experience, maybe. Who knows? Maybe it isn't. And I'm not in the role of a therapist right now, but I'm in the role of a facilitator. So just know that you have agency. If you feel like you don't want to do certain things, or things don't resonate for you, or you need to shift something to make it more accessible to you, please feel free to do so. I want you to be the agent of your work and know that you have power and agency and choice. All right, so without further ado, what we're going to do today, I'll give you a little bit of a layout. We'll start with 5 minutes of grounding and centering. Then we'll have 10 minutes of journaling, around 10 to 15 minutes of movement / embodiment, and then 20 minutes of art making. One last thing before we start, let's talk about the things you need today. So first and foremost, grab a journal or something to write on. Then it's good to have some art making materials. You can really use anything that you are feeling. But for me, I have some colored pencils and some watercolor paints. But it's really just grab crayons, or even if you don't have any fancy art materials, just use whatever you have at hand. And I think that's it. So if you're ready and you've grabbed all your art materials and journals and whatnot, then find a comfortable seat. We're gonna start with some centering, some grounding, so that we can be fully present in this moment and just really make sure that you're in a space where you won't be disturbed, or at least barely disturbed. And find a comfortable position. Maybe you're laying down, maybe you're standing upright. I'm sitting. And you can close your eyes if you want to, or lower your gaze. I notice I'm a little out of breath. So maybe take a deep sigh. And land in this moment, wherever you are. Let's land together. As we're landing, become aware of the weight of your body, meaning feel how the gravity pushes your body gently against any of the surfaces that you're touching right now, whether this is the floor, the chair, and slowly become aware of what parts of your body are touching a surface. And really feel the sensation of what that feels like. Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it hard? Is it soft? And as we're becoming aware of this gravity that pushes us down against the earth, let's also bring our attention to the ground and the earth that is holding us up and supporting us every day. Can you let go a little bit more and really release into the fact that Mother Earth is carrying you and supporting you and holding you. Are there any parts of your body where you're still gripping? I notice that I'm gripping in my calves and my legs a little. Maybe you need to shake them a little and try to let it go. Shift your position. And let go. You are safe. Your body is safe right here, right now. Let's take a few breaths together to relax our nervous system a little bit more. Let's breathe out once, so we're all at the same page. And breathe in through your nose. Hold. And breathe out through the mouth. Let's do that 3 more times. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. And let's wiggle our toes and our fingers. Get back into our bodies. And if you're ready, open your eyes. And come back into the space. And maybe it's helpful to look around a little and maybe look for something that you haven't noticed before. Maybe there's a crack in the wall or a spot on the wall that you haven't noticed. Just to bring ourselves a little bit more into the room. All right, welcome back. We're gonna move forward to our next part. And to get into this next part, we're gonna go to the theme of the day, which is our inner narratives and the stories that we tell ourselves. So to start it off, I will give you a little bit of an example of what I went through so that you can then relate it to yourself. Sometimes it helps to make it a little bit more clear what I'm talking about. So this week I was really feeling unmotivated and fearful. But I didn't really realize that my motivation came from a place of fear until I sat myself down and I was like, what is it that I'm telling myself right now? Because whatever it is, it's not working because I am not putting any action or effort into my newfound company, Artsy Healing. This was about 2 weeks after launching my business. And I started out really, really motivated and so inspired. But then 2 weeks in, I noticed that I was not feeling it anymore. And I was like, what the heck? Like, girl, you invested in this. What is happening? Like, don't give up now. And that's something that I tend to do a lot, is that I start out, I'm really good at starting new things, but then to keep them going is hard because I just lose interest. At least that's how it manifests. But I was curious, what is this lack of interest or lack of inspiration and motivation coming from? Because this can't be real, because this is literally my dream job. So I sat myself down and started journaling about what I was feeling. And then I realized that I was saying really negative things about how I viewed my reality, which I'll mention some of the following. They're a little bit vulnerable, but I'll share them anyway, because sometimes we have to be vulnerable. So I started posting on social media, right? So I told myself, people think I'm cringe on social media and I annoy them. Period. Another one was, I should give up. Another one was, I will stay poor. Another one was, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not knowledgeable enough yet. Which I did a whole master's degree. So that's crazy. No one will book my sessions. Things won't work out. Just all of these negative things. And this was literally my inner narrative all day long for days at a time, which manifested in me just not putting in any work. And then I sat down, I journaled about it, and I basically did the whole routine that we're about to do together. And at the end of it, I was able to reframe my thoughts. And look at this, here I am. I'm actually using this now to help other people. And I was able to get back into the flow with my business and get re-inspired and motivated again. So for me, it definitely helped to just sit myself down and ask myself, what are the stories that I am telling myself that are keeping myself stuck? Or, sometimes you have other people telling you something, but there's also something that we are telling ourselves a lot of the time. And our minds, and especially the negative things, are extremely powerful. So maybe for you, it was a situation with a coworker or something that you are in relation with. Like either this is your job, your work, your career as a whole, your partner, your kids, your family, maybe a friend, anything that you are in relation with, yourself, very important one, that you are framing negative inner narratives about. So the journal prompt is, I am, or maybe it's, frame it in the time frame that works for you. Maybe it was this week I was telling myself the story that, or today I am telling myself the story, or yesterday I was telling myself the story. So you can make it up as you want to do it. We're going to have 10 minutes to journal about it, and I'll keep track of the time. Maybe you need to think for a little bit. Feel free to pause the video. Maybe you already think, yes, I know exactly what I'm writing about. So yeah, let's go ahead, and maybe things will come to you as you're writing. We have about 4 more minutes. If you're already feeling like you're done, feel free to skip ahead in the video or just take a little bit of a break, read over what you wrote. And if you're done journaling, then you can start with underlining some of the words or phrases that really stand out to you. That you're like, oh, these are the ones that I want to work with today. Yeah. Maybe hit home the most or hit you the hardest. Alright, I feel like this should be enough time, but is this too short, then feel free to pause the video and finish this part. So you should have your words right now, right? Or the sentences. So maybe you have about 4 or 3, 5. Maybe keep them around 5 to not overwhelm yourself. Or 6, 5, 6 max. And but if you have less, that's totally fine. We're gonna move on to our movement part, which should be around 10 to 15 minutes long. And the way that we're working is with the body. We're gonna ask our body, how do these sentences feel in my body? So we're gonna step out of our thinking brain, which is where we were kind of in while we were journaling. And maybe let's first bring our awareness back to our bodies. And I would suggest to sort of lower your gaze so that you stay present in the room. and not close your eyes. But if it feels more fitting for you to close your eyes, if you are better able to focus on your body that way, please do so. And let's bring our awareness to our body and ruminate these sentences, like let them go around in your body and feel if there's any sensations that are coming up, any restriction. Does it affect any of your breathing? Does it make you feel any anxiety anywhere? Are there maybe any body parts that you feel this in? And if you don't feel anything and it's hard for you to tap into this part, then just honor that. Don't rush anything. Some people simply need more time to get there. Others get there more quickly, or just honor wherever you are in this process. All is good. And then we're going to explore if you maybe have located some sensations or some emotions that came up for you as you tapped into these sentences in your body. Let's find a way to explore how they feel in movements. So this could be a posture, a pose, maybe it's multiple postures or poses, maybe it is a specific gesture, or any type of movement that you can find that expresses how these sentences and these narratives, these stories, feel in your body. So not how you think of them, but how they make you feel in your body, and how do you want to express that. So I'm gonna stand up and go over there to be there with you, but your movement exploration could look so different from mine, and that is exactly what it should be. I mean, maybe it's the same, maybe it's not, but don't feel like I'm giving the example of how you have to move. Just move however your body wants to express these narratives. And we'll have about 5 minutes. Let's see where we can get in 5 minutes. hard for you, ask yourself, do I feel like I want to move my body freely or more restricted? Do I feel expansive or more contracted? Do I want to be high or low, more close to the floor? Are my movements fast or slow? And what body parts do I feel like using? 3 more minutes of exploration. And let's find an ending. And we're gonna stick with the body for 5 more minutes, but instead of starting with our brain and asking ourselves, how can I change my inner narrative? We're gonna start with the body and ask yourself, how can I change my movements? Can I explore perhaps the opposite or a different way of moving? If you've been really restricted in your body, can you try to make it a little bit more released and free and just explore what that feels like in your body? Maybe it feels unfamiliar. And if you are moving, you'll see that there are certain insights, perhaps, that will reach your mind. And maybe you'll notice that as you're changing your movements, your thoughts and your narrative slowly begins to change as well. We'll have 5 minutes. Enjoy this exploration and just play around. It doesn't have to look any certain way. There are no right or wrong movements. Just play. 1 more minute. See if you can wrap your exploration up. And find a close to your exploration if you haven't already. All right, thank you so much. I don't know about you all, but I found the word play very powerful for me this time. I've done this multiple times, but this time I found myself wanting to be very just childlike, playful. And the words that came to mind for me were like, don't take everything so seriously. Like, just have fun. Just have fun with it. But yeah, for you it might have been completely different. And what we're gonna do next, take this inspiration with you that you felt in your body. And now we're going to process and put this whole thing that we just did on paper. So grab your paper. I realized I didn't mention that in the beginning, but I hope you all have found some paper to make some art on. Grab your pencils or perhaps your watercolor. Maybe you need to grab some water for it. And we're gonna make art, and you can make it however you want to make it. Maybe there was an image that came up through your movement. Maybe you felt a certain sensation that maybe ended being in like a frizzy movement, and maybe you want to use that to make frizzy movements on the paper. Frizzy, I don't even know, that's probably not even the right word, but you know what I mean. I noticed my movements became very flowy, and I'm gonna use that as inspiration. For example, maybe you want to use some of the journaling words in your artwork. You could totally add in sentences or words, and yeah, really think about the different movement qualities that you worked with and how you can transform that onto the paper. And also think about the colors, like what kind of colors belong to that. And yeah, you know, also with this, have fun with it. Just play around. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's simply an expression of your experience, and really to process, hey, the narratives. And oh, I'm curious. As you were transforming your movement, did you notice that maybe your thoughts transformed too? Just like I had that epiphany of like, why am I taking everything so seriously? Was there an epiphany for you, or was there some transformation that happened in your mind? Please use that on the paper too. And I'll give a little example. For example, what I did is, you can't really tell because let me take this thing off real quick if I can. Yep. So this black line is me saying my like negative narrative, and then I decided to it was helpful for me to actually reframe them in words too. I'm just a wordy person, but maybe for you, just expressing it on paper, maybe you just want to draw about your new narrative, or maybe you want one half of the page your old narrative, the other half of the page your new narrative. So feel free to definitely include your newfound narrative, if you found one, in this artwork. We'll have about 20 minutes of art making. I'm gonna have a timer here and let you know whenever it's ready to finish. All right, here we go. All right, the 20 minutes have come to an end. I hope you were able to finish your artwork. If you need more time, please take as much time as you need. I will share a little bit about my process, and I hope that you will share yours with me as well, whether this is through a DM on my Instagram or in the comments. So let me see. I noticed that my movements were very restricted, and it kind of felt like a maze in my head. So that was the image that came to me, that I made about like the narrative that I had at first. But then my movements became more flowy, so I made more flow in my painting. I also used watercolor to help express that flow a little bit more. I am usually very go with the flow, but then I also have this part of me that is just very like control. And I feel like you can definitely see this manifested on this paper. So it's just a good realization for myself. And as I mentioned before, I was definitely able to transform my thoughts. And I just truly hope that you maybe made a step today to do the same. Maybe you were able to do that during this workshop. Maybe you will be able to do that at a later time if it didn't come to you right now. But still, I hope maybe you had a little bit of fun while playing around with being creative and moving your body, making some art. Again, I would love to hear about your experience. I'm always open for contacts, I guess, in the DMs, and or send me an email or share it on your Instagram story. If you are interested in any other offerings that I do with Artsy Healing, check out my link tree in my bio at my Instagram account. That is where you can find the latest information. And I'm open for one-on-ones. I am starting a group, so definitely check out and get on the wait list. And we'll be doing this type of workshop for a duration of 8 weeks, one workshop every week. And it's all tailored to whoever's in a group and what I feel like could be fitting for their goals, their struggles. But it's therapeutic and not therapy. But it can definitely be a supplement and support your personal growth, your emotional well-being. Maybe it's a moment of self-care. I am super, super grateful that you made it to the end of this workshop if you did. Bye-bye!